Hello everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about Asikaga Takauji, a prominent samurai who rose to power from the late Kamakura period to the early Muromachi period and became the first shogun of the Muromachi shogunate. From birth to the fall of the Kamakura shogunate, born in 1305, Kagen III, he was the second son of Ashikaga Sadaji. He initially called himself Takauji. He grew up as a powerful vassal of the Kamakura shogunate, and during the Genko rebellion, he sided with the shogunate in suppressing Emperor Go-Daigo's anti-shogun movement. However, in 1333, Genko III/Shokai II, he sided with Emperor Go-Daigo and contributed greatly to the fall of the Kamakura shogunate, including by taking down the Rokuhara Tannai in Kyoto. For this achievement, he was given one character from the emperor's given name, Takaharu, and changed his name to Takauji. The Kenmu Restoration and its defection. After the fall of the Kamakura shogunate, Emperor Go-Daigo launched the Kenmu Restoration, an emperor-centered political system. But Takauji began to defect from the new government due to growing dissatisfaction among the samurai. The beginning of the Northern and Southern Courts period and the establishment of the Muromachi shogunate. In 1336, Kenmu III/Engan I, Takauji came into conflict with Emperor Go-Daigo and supported Emperor Komyo in Kyoto, establishing a new military government. Emperor Go-Daigo fled to Yoshino and established the Southern Court, ushering in the period of the Northern and Southern Courts, when two imperial courts stood side by side. In 1338, Engan III/Ryakyo I, Takauji was appointed Seitai shogun by the Northern Court and established the Muromachi shogunate. Later years, even after establishing the shogunate, internal conflicts continued, including a confrontation with his younger brother, Ashikaga Tadayoshi, the Kano disturbance. He died in Kyoto in 1358, and Bun III/Shoei 13. Contribution to the downfall of the Kamakura shogunate. The capture of the Rokuhara Tannai dealt a decisive blow to the downfall of the Kamakura shogunate. Founding of the Muromachi shogunate. As the first shogun, he built the foundations for the Muromachi shogunate, which lasted for approximately 230 years. Enactment of the Kenmu Code. In 1336, the Kenmu Code was enacted to outline the basic policies of the new samurai government. It consisted of 17 articles and aimed to ensure social stability. Contributions to culture. He was also known as an imperial poet. The new Thousand Years Waka anthology was compiled by Emperor Go-Kogan at the request of Takauji. Subsequent imperial anthologies were also compiled by the shogun. Ashikaga Takauji's character is complex and cannot be generalized. Valor. He demonstrated great abilities in battle and won many battles. Generosity. It is said that he would forgive and value even those who had been his enemies or who had once defected from him. Indecisiveness. When it came to political decisions, he was sometimes influenced by the wishes of his younger brother, Tadayoshi, and his vassals. Selflessness. While he respected the authority of the emperor, some believe he acted in the interest of all samurai rather than his own desires. Ashikaga Takauji was one of the central figures who ushered in the period of the Northern and Southern Courts. He established the Northern Court after a conflict with Emperor Go-Daigo, and established the Muromachi shogunate, thereby determining the conflict between the Northern and Southern Courts that would continue for approximately 60 years. His actions are sometimes described as those of a traitor in later generations, but it can be said that he played an important role in the historical flow of establishing a military government. The Genko Rebellion was a series of wars that took place between 1331, the first year of the Genko period, and 1333, the third year of the Genko period, at the end of the Kamakura period between the forces led by Emperor Go-Daigo and the Kamakura shogunate. It was a significant event that led to the downfall of the Kamakura shogunate. Decline of the Kamakura shogunate. The Kamakura shogunate's system of rule was greatly shaken by instability in the regent's government, poverty among its vassals, and exhaustion from two Mongol invasions. Emperor Go-Daigo's movement to overthrow the shogunate. Emperor Go-Daigo believed in a government centered on the imperial court, and aimed to overthrow the Kamakura shogunate. Although he failed once in the Shochu incident, 1324, he did not give up and waited for an opportunity to overthrow the shogunate. Decline of the Kamakura shogunate. The Kamakura shogunate's system of rule was greatly shaken by instability in the regent's government, poverty among its vassals, and exhaustion from 2 Mongol invasions. Emperor Go-Daigo's movement to overthrow the shogunate. Emperor Go-Daigo believed in a government centered on the imperial court, and aimed to overthrow the Kamakura shogunate. Although he failed once in the Shochu incident, 1324, he did not give up and waited for an opportunity to overthrow the shogunate. First uprising, 1331. Emperor Go-Daigo's plan to overthrow the shogunate was discovered by his close aide Yoshida Sadafusa, so he escaped Kyoto and raised an army at Kasagiyama. However, the shogunate army attacked and captured Kasagiyama, and the emperor was captured and exiled to Oki. Uprisings in various regions. Prince Morinaga, son of Emperor Go-Daigo, raised an army in Yoshino, and Masashige Kusunoki, known as the villain of Kawachi, fought against the shogunate forces at Shimoakasaka Castle and Chihaya Castle. Their heroic fighting caused great suffering to the shogunate forces, and increased anti-shogun sentiment among samurai and the general public in various regions. Ashikaga Takauji's uprising and the fall of Rokuhara Tennai. The shogunate dispatched Ashikaga Takauji, later known as Takauji, a powerful vassal, to subjugate Emperor Go-Daigo. However, Takauji assessed the situation and switched sides to Emperor Go-Daigo, and in 1333, the third year of the Genko era, he attacked and captured Rokuhara Tennai, a branch office of the shogunate in Kyoto. Nitayashisada's attack on Kamakura and the fall of the shogunate. In the Kanto region, Nitayashisada, who was also sent by the shogunate, attacked Kamakura, the shogunate's headquarters. After days of fierce fighting, Kamakura fell, and the Hojo clan, including the regent Hojo Takatoki, committed suicide, and the Kamakura shogunate was destroyed. Ashikaga Takauji's role in the Genko rebellion was extremely important. Participation in the shogunate army and defective behavior. Initially, they followed the shogunate's orders and acted as part of Emperor Go-Daigo's suppression forces, but they were quick to sense changes in the war situation and public opinion, and eventually defected to Emperor Go-Daigo's side. Conquest of Rokuhara Tennai. The swift and sure capture of Rokuhara Tennai, the center of power in Kyoto, was the decisive blow to the shogunate's downfall. This completely destroyed the shogunate's power in the western part of Japan. Emperor Go-Daigo's trust. Due to his achievements in conquering the Rokuhara Tennai, he gained the deep trust of Emperor Go-Daigo and was appointed commander of the Chinjafu, giving him an important position in the new administration. The Genko rebellion brought about the downfall of the Kamakura shogunate, which had lasted for about 150 years, and led to the establishment of the Kenmu restoration by Emperor Go-Daigo. Furthermore, Ashikaga Takauji's actions during this rebellion marked an important turning point that led to the beginning of the subsequent Nanbokucho period. The Kenmu restoration was a political reform carried out by Emperor Go-Daigo, who overthrew the Kamakura shogunate, from 1333, third year of the Genko era/2 ND year of the Shokai era, to 1336, third year of the Kenmu era/1 SD year of the Engen era. Aiming to restore direct imperial rule, various policies were put forward, but it collapsed in a short period of time due to dissatisfaction among the samurai class, among other things. Fall of the Kamakura shogunate. After the Genko rebellion, the samurai-ruled government, the Kamakura shogunate, that had lasted for about 150 years came to an end. Emperor Go-Daigo's ideals. Emperor Go-Daigo had a strong desire to restore the emperor-centered political system of the Heian period. Restoration of direct rule by the emperor. The aim was to return real political power to the emperor and create a political system centered on the nobles. Renewal of official ranks. New official ranks were given to samurai and nobles who had distinguished themselves in order to solidify the foundations of the new government. Ashikaga Takauji was appointed shogun of the Chinjafu, and Nitayashisada was appointed governor of Echigo. Establishment of the Reward Office. An organization was established to award rewards to those who had made distinguished contributions during the Genko War. However, dissatisfaction arose over the distribution of the rewards. Re-establishment of the Record Office. The Record Office, an institution that handles litigation and administrative affairs, was re-established with the aim of ensuring fair trials. Revival of the Kabishi. The Kabishi, responsible for maintaining order in Kyoto, have been revived. Reform of the monetary system. The aim was to promote the circulation of Song coins and stabilize the domestic monetary economy. Manor reorganization order. This order aimed to reorganize the local manor system and restore provincial government lands. However, it provoked opposition from temples, shrines, and nobles who had vested interests. Graffiti at Nijigawara. Graffiti expressing public dissatisfaction and satirizing the Kenmu restoration were posted at Nijigawara in Kyoto, leading to growing criticism of the new government. Although the Kenmu restoration proclaimed ideals, there were many gaps between reality and the ideals, and the policies were inconsistent, which gradually led to growing dissatisfaction among the people. The main factors behind this include the following. Dissatisfaction among the samurai class. Although the samurai contributed greatly to the downfall of the Kamakura shogunate, the new government was led by the nobles, and the samurai's participation in politics was limited. The distribution of rewards also created a sense of unfairness, which led to growing dissatisfaction among the samurai. Opposition to court noble politics. Because samurai had ruled the country for many years, there was a deep-rooted resistance among the samurai to politics centered on court nobles. Sudden policy changes. Many reforms were implemented in a short period of time, causing social unrest. The Shon reorganization order, for example, provoked strong opposition from those with vested interests. Emperor Go-Daigo's dictatorial tendencies. The emperor's own attempts to demonstrate strong leadership sometimes created friction with those around him. As this discontent grew, Ashikaga Takauji garnered the support of the samurai, and after traveling to Kamakura to put down the Naka Sendai rebellion in 1335, second year of Kenmu, he did not return to Kyoto but instead began to build his own power. Then, in 1336, third year of Kenmu/1st year of Engen, he came into conflict with Emperor Go-Daigo, supported a new emperor, Emperor Komio, and established his own government, causing the collapse of the Kenmu restoration after only about 3 years, ushering in the period of the northern and southern courts. Although the Kenmu restoration upheld the ideal of direct rule by the emperor, it failed to take into full consideration the realities of society and the trends of the times, such as the rise of the samurai, and so it could be said to have been short-lived. However, it had a major impact on subsequent history, and marked the turning point for the establishment of samurai government. The Northern and Southern Courts period in Japanese history refers to the period from 1336, third year of Kenmu/1st year of Engen, to 1392, ninth year of Genshu/3rd year of Maitoka. This was a time of conflict and strife between two imperial courts. The Northern Court established in Kyoto, the court centered on Emperor Komio, who was supported by Ashikaga Takauji, and the Southern Court centered in Yoshino, present-day Nara Prefecture, the court succeeded by Emperor Go-Daigo and his sons. After the collapse of the Kenmu restoration, Ashikaga Takauji came into conflict with Emperor Go-Daigo and established a new emperor, Emperor Komio, in Kyoto in 1336. In response, Emperor Go-Daigo fled Kyoto and established his own court in Yoshino. This led to the unusual situation of two legitimate imperial courts in Japan, and marked the beginning of the Nanbokucho period. Early conflict. Around 1336 to 1348, fierce fighting took place between the Northern Court, led by Ashikaga Takauji, and the Southern Court, led by Emperor Go-Daigo's son Prince Morinaga, Kusunoki Masashige, and Nitayasha Sada. Battle of Minatagawa. 1336, Ashikaga Takauji defeated the forces of Kusunoki Masashige and Nitayasha Sada and established his position in Kyoto. Imprisonment and death of Prince Morinaga. 1335 to 1337, Prince Morinaga, who was in conflict with Takauji, was imprisoned and later murdered. Conflict between Ashikaga Tadayoshi and Takauji. Kano disturbance. 1350 to 1352, within the Northern Court, Takauji and his younger brother Tadayoshi were in conflict, and the Southern Court tried to take advantage of this to expand its power. Resistance and decline of the Southern Court, 1348 to 1392. After the death of Emperor Go-Daigo, the Southern Court continued to resist, centered around Yoshino, but gradually lost power. Death of Kusunoki Masayuki in battle, Battle of Shijanowate, 1348. Kusunoki Masashi's son, Masayuki, was also killed in battle against the Northern Court forces, leaving the Southern Court without a powerful military commander. Southern Court operation to retake Kyoto, 1352. The Southern Court forces temporarily recaptured Kyoto, but it was soon recaptured by the Northern Court forces. The emergence of Ashikaga Yashimitsu and the movement towards unifying the Northern and Southern courts. Ashikaga Yashimitsu, the third shogun of the Muromachi shogunate, aimed to achieve domestic stability and actively moved towards unifying the Northern and Southern courts. Unification of the Northern and Southern courts, 1392 and 1392. Emperor Gokomayama of the Southern Court abdicated to Emperor Gokomatsu of the Northern Court, and the Northern and Southern courts were unified. This marked the end of approximately 60 years of parallel existence of two imperial courts. The coexistence of two legitimate imperial courts. This was a unique period in Japanese history. The debate over which court was legitimate had an impact on later generations. The rise of the samurai and the growth of the Shugo daimyo. Throughout the Age of War, the authority of the Shugo strengthened and the Shugo daimyo grew, which would later lead to the Sengoku daimyo. Cultural development. Although it was a turbulent time, a unique culture developed under the influence of samurai, nobles, Zen Buddhism, etc. Ink painting, kaijin, and other arts flourished during this period. Increasing local independence. As central authority weakened, local samurai and local feudal lords gained strength and began to form their own domains of rule. The Nanbokucho period had a major impact on Japanese society, politics, and culture. Establishment of samurai government. The Muromachi shogunate was established by the Ashikaga clan, laying the foundation for the further development of samurai government. Progression of decentralization. The growth of the Shugo daimyo led to the weakening of the Muromachi shogunate, and led to the beginning of the later Sengoku period. Cultural diversification. The cultures of the two imperial courts, the influence of the samurai, Zen Buddhism, and other influences merged to create a new culture. The Nanbokucho period was a complex and turbulent time in Japanese history, but it can also be said to have been a crucial period that greatly influenced the future of Japan.